Welcome to Random Select. Please enjoy.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? I would like to welcome you into another episode of Random Select. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Mario, and I'm joined by, as usual, the lovely Valencia, and joined by my partners in crime, Dave and Will. And today we're just gonna do a little quick show called "Get to Know the Panelists." We're not gonna make it long. We're gonna jump in, jump out, do it real quick. Sorry about the delay in shows. We had a little turnover, but that's another conversation for another day. So we just gonna jump right into it, start asking questions right off the bat, and hopefully this will give you a little bit more, a little bit more insight to the panelists on the show. And we'll start off with you, Valencia, real quick, right up front. What are some of the stereotypes that piss you off? Just every time you hear somebody say it, it just tick you off.
Um, Black people can't get ahead because of the slavery mentality. I hear a lot of people say that we are entitled. We should have certain things because we were slaves for so many years. And I hear a lot of people say, well, because America is racist and it was founded for white people, that's why the black man or the black woman can't get ahead.
So you saying it ticked you off because you saying that's not true. If you really want to, you can get ahead.
Right.
That's what you're saying.
Right, because my thing is, don't get me wrong, I understand that there are things that make, you may run across some stumbling blocks, but I feel like your success is based on how much work you put into it. If you go to school, if you grind it out, you have to make up in your mind that you want to be successful and quit, basically having a pity party or pitching a bitch fit because stuff is not going your way.
Ladies and gentlemen, phrase of the day: bitch fit. Um. All right, Will, we gonna go to you. Give me a stereotype that just piss you off every time you hear it.
Mine is going to be somewhat in the same family as Valencia, but a little bit different. And we've kind of talked about this on the podcast before. I think the whole idea that if you're a black person, and I'm going to say specifically a black man who speaks correct English, went to school, generally carries himself as a just normal, upstanding citizen in the United States, that somehow you're not real. That unless you can drop short at every third word in your sentence or talk about the trap, that you acting white, you being sedated or whatever you want to put on it, and it's just dumb to me. I mean, I said just cause I don't act like I'm from the street don't mean somebody from the street can walk up on me and treat me like I'm some kind of punk. I mean, I know how to carry myself. I'm a grown man. I said, there's no need to act up. And yes, yes, I will call the police. I'm sorry. I said, I'm about to turn 40. I have no time to fight with anybody unless somebody's threatening, family and loved ones. So, I said, I believe in the police. I said, there's no such thing as stop snitching, because I'm sorry, unless you committed the crime with the person, you're not snitching. So if you in my neighborhood shooting up stuff, I'm sorry. I said, I need you to stop that. I need you to go, leave. So just the whole stereotype of you gotta tolerate crime and you gotta do all this stuff because it's the quote unquote black thing to do. It's just stupidity to me.
And one thing I will add to that is to say that we as black people love to sling out this whole keeping it real thing. When you live long enough, the one thing that people really don't do is keep it real. I mean, I'm tired of saying that, whoa man, I've been 100. I can't stand that because the average person is not 100 with nobody. All right, Dave. Give me a pet peeve that just gets up under your skin. Stereotype.
I can just take it up on my skin. You know, to piggyback Will's statement, he just said, people that call Will Smith a sellout always make me laugh. But my thing always been that Mexicans are hard workers because it's not necessarily true. Because the person that worked in the cooking industry for years, I know a bunch of lazy people that's Mexican descent that don't do nothing, not a damn thing. But you listen to them talk, they're such hard workers. They work hard. They got so many jobs. They live together. They do a lot of stuff together. But all of them really are not hard workers. You got a bunch of them that is, but a lot of them just not. And I say that from personal experience, from working in the restaurant industry for 12 years, seen it come through, seen them ladies, seen not do nothing, seen them try to figure out to get the girls to do stuff for the guys. That's my only one I have. It's not even one that makes me angry. It's just one that made me look at it and go, that's just not true at all. And again, the whole what Will was saying, I can say the Will Smith thing, because everybody always call him a sellout because he's a successful black man, as Will was saying, that speaks English, got a wife, got kids, and as far as we know, they happy with what they doing. I don't know what they doing, but they happy with what they doing. But if you talk to somebody that's quote unquote from the streets, he looked at it as a sellout because he's successful. But that's about it. Don't have nothing that just make me angry. I mean, not a stereotype. Because like I tell everybody, if you don't eat chicken and watermelon, that's your fault.
All right. All right, I'll jump in here real quick and I'll say this, and I'm gonna preface this by saying I am about to drop the N word, but I'm gonna use it in the context in which people can understand. I can't. What gets under my skin sometimes is when people say, stereotype and say black people do this and black people do that, and we say off the air all the time. It is a very distinct difference between black people and niggas. It's a very distinct difference between black people and niggas. Let's just be honest. And all black people aren't doing what people are stereotyping them to do. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, yes, you do deal with niggas, and I'll leave it at that.
As I said, as I got older, as I hit between 34, 33 to about 40, the older I get, the more and more I understand the Chris Rock, niggas and flies. The more I hang around niggas, the more I like flies.
There you go.
I get it. I totally understand that.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. There are some beautiful black people in this world, but let's not be ignorant to the fact that there are niggas. Let's just be honest. So, so we'll move on. I won't stay on that. And ironically, this goes right into the next question. Honestly, if we were speaking just to us, just sitting in a room somewhere and asking this question, and like we normally do, where do we really see the racial climate in this country? Honestly, where do it sit? They
As a country as a whole, to me as a country as a whole is okay. It really depends on where you stay and where because if you go throughout the city of Atlanta, especially like areas of Little Five Points, Piedmont Park, and stuff like that, the culture mixes very well. Whether it's black, Asian, hell, Indian, white, it's a very mixed culture that hangs out, talk, play games, whatever, together all the time. Now, of course, we live in Atlanta, but it's section of Georgia. I still won't go in. I know better. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Like I told my brother earlier today, I was in Gwinnett coming to your house one time and got pulled over, leaving your house and got pulled over, and literally was asked what I'm doing this side of town, and that was less than 10 years ago. So it depends on where you at. As a whole, I think is much better than what we as black people perceive it to be because some of us stuck in our mentality don't go. We don't have other people that we talk to, so anytime something go wrong, you blame stuff racially, but sometimes some things is what it is because you're a fucked up person. But me personally, I don't think it's as bad as everybody, as bad as they think it is because Lord knows we didn't go through the Jim Crow era, we didn't go through slavery, we didn't go through none of that. So for me, for what I see and what I've dealt with, again, being in the restaurant industry, you deal with a lot of people, a lot of cultures, a lot of personalities, and I don't have that mean spirit of hatred towards other cultures or other races. I really don't feel it towards me that in the areas I be in. But in certain parts of Georgia, it's like way crossing the other area, you still don't want to necessarily be here at night.
okay? All right, Will. Where do you see the racial climate? Honestly, where does it sit?
I mean, I feel a lot like Dave. It's much better for no other reason than just to be Captain Obvious. We do have a black man sitting as president on his second term, and no matter what any minorities want to say, black, Hispanic, or whatever, Asian, I don't care how many of the minorities they want to say we could have band together to make this happen. You wouldn't have a black man in office in the United States without white people voting for him. So there's obviously a change. I think the issue now is the fact that It's one of these things now. It's going to be something that is going to phase out over time. I mean, us, we don't see the world as racist. Our kids won't. I mean, today's point, there's places you go now and those that you'll see, pack of kids skateboarding. I mean, it's like Captain Planet in reality. Just one Mexican kid, one Asian kid, one black kid, one white kid, somebody from Russia somewhere. They're all chilling. They're happy. I mean, so it's just the fact that now you got the old guard. They see the change, and as we all know, people don't like to change, so they're
Mm-mm.
fighting. They're fighting tooth and
Mm-mm.
nail. I mean, you say we're watching the Speaker of the House resign his post because he realizes that his party is crazy. The Republican Party has lost their damn mind, and this man is stepping down because he see I said, I can't make this work anymore and keep my sanity. So this man stepping down. The man who's basically third in command of the country is willingly stepping out his position. So I mean, it is what it is. So I say I think it's improved, but there's pockets that are still fighting, still fighting.
Okay, Valencia, how do you see it?
I have to agree with Dave and Will that, times have changed. I look at my kids. My kids have friends from so many different, nationalities, and they you do see a lot of kids on skateboards and things of that nature. But I believe the direction and where we're going, because we have a lot of people that's migrating to America. I honestly believe that the Latin American community is probably going to be the dominant now. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I do my best to try to make sure that the kids they speak Spanish, that they're around that, because in my opinion, the way I see things going, I look at the job market. Bilinguals are paid really good money. So unless you educate yourself and equip yourself, unfortunately, you're gonna be on the tail end of everything.
Okay. All right. Well, I do believe that the racial climate is a whole lot better. But if you listen to the news, and especially if you listen to Facebook and see all the videos, people give you it's millions and millions of people in this country, right? And at one point, it did seem like a black man was dying every day. But you got to keep in, like we were saying a couple of episodes ago about the basketball players. You say five or six or seven of them, happen, and everybody say it's a racial problem when it's millions of people in the country. So, and at one point Will made a couple episodes ago that if you work hard and do what you got to do, you still can make it in this country. It was back 50s, 40s, no matter what they did, they couldn't make it. You know what I mean? They could have been the smartest, they could have been, had the best inventions, best ideas, but it just wasn't going nowhere. So now it's all on you. So I mean, yeah, you have like little pockets here and there, but at the end of the day, it's on you. With the next question, and then we'll probably just jump into something different. Since Valencia, you're in ground zero as far as his education system go. Are we seriously to the point where we need to start having serious talks about a real overhaul to the education system, or do you think it's fine?
No, 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 no. We need to talk about this education system, because the whole thing that went down in APS. I mean, it's been going on for years and years at a time, and it will probably still be going on had they not gotten caught. It's not fair to our children. First of all, let me say this. I mean, as parents, we should already be active in their lives, but these children do not understand the basics, the simple things. We wrote in cursive. We were able to read things that were written in cursive. As far as the basics, home skills, learning financials and things like that, they have really gotten away from it, and they're not teaching these kids what they need to know. They're teaching them to pass a test, and that's not good.
Okay, all right, Dave. You're right there, day in and day out, seeing the kids at the school system. Do you think it's time to overhaul it, or you think it's good where it's at?
Not only is it time to overhaul it, I'm a grown ass man, and I walk into some of these classrooms and go, I don't know what they say. They may have math problems on the board. I'm looking like I don't know what they say. I don't know what the answer this could even remotely be. But at the end of the day, it's literally like 5 minus 2 is 3. But the way they got it set up, and the lady told me, well, they want to be able to figure, they want you to be able to, they want to be able to, the students be able to tell you how they got to this problem, so they do it this way. And my answer, they subtract 5 from 3 and got 2, but they make it difficult, and that's part of the reason why they can't pass a lot of these tests, because they done made the thing complicated for no reason. They said they want you to be able to, the kids know how to get change back. I heard all type of crap concerning how they teach these kids now. And the summers I have really paid attention to now that I'm at the school. Not the hope that I don't hear me from the school, but a lot of these teachers just ain't smart at all. They don't know how to deal with
I
kids
agree.
at all. They know how to teach they know how to teach from the book, and that's it. And a lot of them can't even do that. You know what I mean? It just, to sit here and look at it is weird. Like, really, you a teacher and you can't comprehend this? You know what I mean? So it's kind of, for me. A lot of it need to be changed over. I tell everybody all the time. When a person can graduate from their school, high school, head of the class, number one in the class, but can't take their education and go teach kindergarten because you got to get a 4 year scholarship, something wrong. They got to overhaul a lot of stuff they do with how they present school and teach school. I think, like I said, they got. If you look at, I just looked at the Georgia SAT scores for some reason on the AJC just now, and they did the top 20. The DeKalb County Assembly High School finished in the top 20. That's the only one in DeKalb County. You had like 3 or 4 from Fulton, and the rest of them kind of never even heard of. So it's a lot of stuff they gotta really just step back and just start over and go back to how, I don't want to say how we used to do it, but can 5 - 3 be 2? Can it get back to just something as simple as that? Like you said, I understand when they don't teach cursive, but I agree they should still teach cursive to effect, but they also got to incorporate, like you say, finances, banking. You know what I'm saying? Credit. They got to do a lot of stuff. They just don't talk about, don't even mention. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of stuff they got to do. It ain't just. I don't even think overhaul the right word to use. This something else. They got to take this thing down and rebuild. It's something else, man. This is, if you just sat there and sit in them schools and see what I see every day, you'll be like, this can't be how school's supposed to be ran. Be taught. It just can't be.
Okay, well, you see it every day. You got a son in elementary school. How do you feel about the system?
As somebody who, and you all have, well, I won't say Valencia because she hasn't done this, but between you and Dave have both called me nerd on many occasions. As someone who's good at math, I look at new math. New math looks like somebody was smoking something and just came up with a way to make 5 + 3 take 5 steps to get to two. When it, as they
Five
say, it's
steps.
two. I said, I said, I just spent the day explaining, sitting down, explaining how to add 3 digit number to a 2 digit number, and this was an hour long experience to explain. Just add everything. Just add the top number to the bottom number and pull it down. And he, and I don't know what they told him, but he had the hardest time grasping the fact that if you got a 4 over a blank spot, the blank spot is just zero. Pull 7, do some other stuff. I'm like, no, just pull it down. There's nothing there. Add 4 + 0. And if I finally had to draw this out to explain it, and he could get it. But when I don't know what new math is supposed to accomplish, I just don't.
Mm-mm,
I said, and no,
mm-mm.
to Dave's point, the teachers, just in my personal high school career, I said, we got to American history, AP American history, and I'll shout him out because he probably might have been one of the best teachers I had going through there, Mr. Worthington. We got to the Black History Civil Rights portion of the book. It was probably about 20, good 20, 30 hot pages. We read it in about 15 minutes. He told us to close our book, gave us packets that detailed, slavery, sharecropping, the Black Panther Party, Civil Rights Movement, all the stuff that wasn't in the book, because the book essentially went through slavery, the Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, and that was pretty much all of Black history,
That's
boiled
it.
down into three people. So that's three things. So he took the time to show it to us, teachers. We sat and watched Glory. They'll show us that Black people fought in the Civil War on both sides, and it was just, and say there's just no, you have to incentives, put some incentives in the system to make that type of teacher worth coming to school and doing their
Hmm.
job every day. Because right now you
Hmm.
got teachers come in. Like I say, they can teach us in the book fine. If a student asks them something that's not in the book, they're gonna be just confused as a student is, and that's a shame.
All right, my take on this is we say this all the time. If they say that this generation of kids is the smartest generation that history has ever known, right? Why is it that we need to spend a whole semester in school for a civics class? Why do classes last so long? Some classes should not take half the year to be in. If the kids are smarter, they say they are, right? You don't think a high schooler can pick up civics in 2 or 3 weeks? Why don't we learn what we have to learn quicker and be out of school faster? Because a lot of countries, by the time people turn 18, they've graduated high school and done 3 years in the military. But by the time we turn 18, we just getting out of high school. So I just think if we are smart, if they say we are, speed it up a little bit. And I get you should pay the teachers more, but
Not
like
all
you
of them.
yeah, that's what I'm about to say. If you got teachers who don't really care and, making $50,000 a year, right? Let's just say that. Or I don't even know if they make that much. But a lot of them need to keep in mind that they make that type of money working half the time as Joe Blow do. Joe Blow got to work all year for that. You know what I mean? So I ain't saying that they shouldn't get more, but I'm just saying that you can't help the kids cheat just because you saying okay you get bonuses and whatnot. Teachers don't care anymore about if the kids actually learn anything.
But the problem with that is it ain't even the learning no more. Again, everything goes towards the test. So it
Right.
ain't the learning no more. They're just teaching towards the test. You ain't even learning. You just learning how to take the test all year
All
long.
year
I
long.
feel like this is
That's
where
it.
I'm at now. If I'm not mistaken, they done took 3 different tests already.
Yeah,
Already.
that's
We've been in
pretty
school a month
much
and
true.
a half.
Matter of fact, I'll give you a perfect example. When they first got to school, they say, oh, we're going to give them an assessment test to see where they at.
Hmm.
Now, after the assessment test, we're going to get them a prepping test to prep them for the test. And then now we're going to get them a refresher course after the prep for the test. And then after the refresher course, then there's the test. I'm like, that's all they talk about.
The test.
That's
I
it.
mean,
And
literally,
they not
all they
learning
talk
anything. They're not learning anything. They just learning how to take the test. And that's it. It's like Cliff knowing through school. That's it. That's all they doing. They ain't learning nothing. I had a girl last year. She was a Spanish girl, Mexican girl. And I asked her, I said, how you flunking Spanish? She said, I know Spanish. I don't like when the teacher teach Spanish though. The teacher don't know what she doing.
Wow.
And
Cause I,
Dave, I'm sorry. I want to jump in on this because and you know the friend I went to high school with. We sat in Spanish for 5 years. Took Spanish to the AP to the advanced placement test. Took Spanish since eighth grade all the way through high school. We both probably averaged literally 105 as a grade throughout all those years till we got to that AP class. This little Spanish lady came in from Spain, gave us a Spanish book that didn't have one English word from the first page to the last page of the book, and they gave for us to read. Outside of the two Spanish kids that were in the class with us, the rest of us looked like a deer caught in headlights. She was in shock at where we were as far as knowing Spanish. I said she had to teach the course on a remedial level to anyone who didn't speak Spanish.
mm-hmm.
To the to the point where we been in class, so we sat in the AP test, and they put on the tape that basically reads the test out to you in Spanish, and you're supposed to answer questions. We all laughed. We were laughing at the test. I said to the point where teacher came in and asked us what was wrong. And we told them we just know what's going on, but no, well fine. But we literally laughed at the test. We didn't know what was going on in the test. So, and that's just like I said, just and to your point, we spent all those years taking it, getting passing grades, getting A's, and, and we could have been dropping in a Spanish kindergarten class and been functional. And that's sad.
about. Okay, let me ask you this. Let me ask y'all this, and Valencia and Will, y'all could probably answer this. Do y'all find that the way they teach, right, does not spur on the kids' imaginations? Do you find that nowadays kids cannot play by themselves because their imagination ain't being spurred enough because they need something to be doing? I don't know if y'all find it. I just know
I,
my kids can't play by themselves because their imagination just ain't right no more. We used to use our imagination when it comes. These kids have to be doing something because I don't think their brain stimulated enough as far as certain things go. How y'all feel about that?
I got one teacher at the school. He does that. He put stuff on the board, and he'll have the kids try to figure out what it means, what the pictures mean, what these words mean, what the numbers mean. And I will say, when I go in his room, I'm intrigued by that. I will stop everything I'm doing and go look at that board and go, okay, what this say? What this mean? And if I can't figure it out, I ask him about the next day. Hey, what this mean? He said, oh, this meant so. I said, all right, that's very good. I like that. You know what I'm saying? I tell him this. I like that because that's very unique. That makes the kids think outside the box. And he said that's why I do it. I need them to think outside the box. But there's only one teacher that I know do that in the whole school. Period. Period.
Yep. And that's what I'm saying. If they don't have a tablet or nothing that's kind of, because if y'all notice, they don't hardly promote writing anymore. They want these kids to type everything. They got
Mm-hmm.
computers. Every time my Dominique asks me something, I say, "What you got to write?" Write. No, we got to type it up on Google Docs or something like that. They don't write no more. Period.
Yep, and that's true. I mean, I think with this, the way our children are now, they are truly the millennial age. I mean, it would shock me if they don't have to write. You think about the documents that you can sign now. You don't even need a signature. Only thing they need is your full name, either the last four of your social or your date of birth, and that is counted as a signature versus you actually
Mm-hmm.
had to sign documents in cursive. It's not. I mean, unfortunately, the way that things are going, they will never know. They will never know or understand the basic fundamentals that we had.
That's how my lease got. That's how my lease got signed on the dude on tablet.
See?
Put everything out on the tablet.
And what I do now, the type of work that I do, if I'm dealing with somebody in legal, I don't need you to send me in the signed documents. Only thing I need for you to do is give me your name, give me your tax ID number, and whoever else is in your office, you type it, you agree to the terms or whatever. I scan it, send it to everybody, and I keep it moving. I never have to
Mm-hmm.
see you a day in my life.
But that just goes to show you where we at right now. Moving on. Let me ask you this. Totally switching gears. Start with you, Will. Right now, what is the biggest fear in your life?
I don't know if I have a fear necessarily. I mean, I guess it's not a fear. It's a concern because it's the thing that's most important in my life is make sure that I'm a good father. I mean, making sure that I provide the right guidance, to my son and any future children. Make sure that as I mean, just bare minimum. No, as we joke about, though, I said I don't need any of my children behind bars. I don't need any. If I have a daughter, I don't need her on the pole. I mean, just trying to get just the basics, just making sure I raise, decent human beings. I mean, that's all. That's really once you come into existence on this earth, that's probably your main goal for your life is to raise, bring a child in the world, make sure that he or she is an upstanding human being. So that's my biggest concern and biggest thing I want to accomplish.
All right, Valencia, what about you? Is there any fear that just, make you say, man, if this would ever happen, I wouldn't know what to do? Or let me like say, like Will say, maybe let's not say fear. Let me say, what is your biggest concern in your life right now?
I would have to agree with Will, but my major concern is I pray that I don't die anytime soon until my kids are old enough to take care of themselves because all they have is me. I mean, I don't. It's one of those things where I don't have a support system as far as family and things like that. My kids have been taught at a very young age to be self-sufficient. They started cooking when they was 5 and 6 years old. They know how to use an ATM card. They know how to balance a checkbook. They know how to budget money. But at the same time, they are minors. So if something were to happen to me, I don't feel confident with who's around them that will make sure that they get the guidance and the nurturing that they need.
Okay, Day, what is your biggest concern in your life right now?
Should we told? I don't know.
Life just too busy for you to even sit down and think about concerns because you got to keep it moving. I ain't got time to think about that.
I mean, you gotta keep it moving, man. Like Valencia said, you don't want to die too soon. I do want to have a kid I raise myself. I mean, I mean, I don't even call it a concern. It's just a want. Um, I'm 41 right now. My son 22 with a grandchild, and I don't know. I get a chance to raise them, so I do want to have a opportunity to raise my own family. That's about it. But I wouldn't necessarily call it a concern per se. I don't know. Truth be told, I just don't. I don't have it. I mean,
All right, that's okay. You don't have to have it. I
mm,
mean, hey, that's good. I mean, mentally, hey, you where you could keep it moving. And we'll go to the next one, and we'll stay right here with you, Dave. Who is a person in your life, whether you don't know him or you do know him, that you just saying, man, I'm rooting for that guy to succeed right now.
well, ironically, I outside of y'all, I root for y'all all the time. Y'all my boys, love y'all to death. People I don't. I always root for my family. I pray for my family all the time. Like I tell everybody, like you don't see me praying when I don't pray. I pray for my family all the time. Not necessarily success, but just happiness in like just doing good stuff, not doing stupid stuff. I just like my family to prosper in their own little way. Like I said, you don't have to be rich to be successful at all. But ironically,